I'm 31 male and my wife is 28 female. We have 2 kids, 7 and 5. My wife asked me for a separation on August 27, 2020. She left that day and was apparently living at her mom's. The day after I get messages from her cousin that she's been cheating on me. Wife claims she never did up to this day. A week after we met up to do a Zoom meeting on her phone to meet our son's teacher online. She gets a Facebook message saying something like, "Only a few hours, eggplant emoji, peach emoji, sweat emoji." After the meeting, I asked her if she could explain that and she said she didn't want to talk about it and that she deleted the messages already. She said it was a girlfriend of hers, because my wife was going on a date and apparently girlfriends get excited for each other and think they're just going to get laid, which I obviously didn't believe at all. I got really upset and told her to leave. Around Thanksgiving, October for us in Canada, she told me she was taking the kids to another city to visit her grandparents and go swimming for Thanksgiving. She ended up lying and actually went with our kids and this guy she apparently cheated on me with and stayed in a hotel. On their drive back the car engine blew and died. The car she fought me for and owes almost $12,000 on still makes payments on every couple weeks. This is when I started to believe in karma a little bit more. Between September and November, my wife and I drank together and slept together around 5 or 6 times. I still wanted her back and I really wanted to sleep with her. The part that I'm realizing now is that she's been seeing this guy for a while now. I found pictures of them about a week and a half ago. Ever since I saw those pics and confirmed things, I've stopped talking to her. I just wanted to believe all her lies even when they were obvious. So she's cheated on me, left me for him, and was cheating on that guy with me. Just 2 weeks ago before I found out for sure, she came over and we were talking and she was letting me feel her up and give her a full body massage and everything. Right now I can't even fathom what's going on in her head. Some other extra facts. The kids are doing well. My apartment is spotless, and I've lost 50 pounds since she left me, 235 down to 185 pounds. She's come to my place a couple times and has cried to me about how it's so unfair how I'm doing so much better than she is. She said it's not fair that I'm doing all this now and not when we were together. She told me she still loved me on Christmas and bought me Christmas gifts. Not just junk, but a bottle of sake because she knows how much I want to visit Japan and like making ramen and such. So she put thought into it. I don't mean to sound rude either, but she doesn't look very good nowadays either. She's been putting on weight, has gone hard into substance abuse and drinking. She tells me she cries all the time. She told me she was depressed with me, left me thinking it'd be better, but is still depressed and that messes with her. But as we know, happiness comes from within and she has none. So if you left me for someone else, at least be happy about it and make the best of it. She hasn't texted me for 4 days now. This is the longest she hasn't texted me in 4 months. She has told me before when we were together, that if she ever left I would fail. When I started a job working in a kitchen, started as a dishwasher, she said I would never make any friends. Apparently she forgot how social and good with people I am. All the waitresses loved me. I moved from being a dishwasher to working on the line and being asked if I'd want to bartend. At the time I was overweight and my self-worth and confidence were at an all-time low, so I didn't take up bartending. She didn't like how many people, especially the girls, ended up liking me. Throughout the marriage, whenever me and my wife would go out drinking, she would always end up twerking on the wall or the floor and letting guys videotape her. She flirted with everyone and even had many of my close friends thinking I wanted a threesome with her. I don't drink often, but one Halloween I drank too much at a friend's party, ended up passing out and throwing up everywhere. While I was doing that, she was in the bathroom with guys showing her tits off for free coke and who knows what else. But she convinced me nothing happened and ended up making me think I'm crazy and everyone was wrong. Basically gaslighting me. I'm seeing a therapist now and I'm learning that basically, she just needs attention from external sources nonstop. Getting it from her husband just wasn't enough. I know we all have issues, our marriage wasn't perfect. I know I still love her and care about her, but I won't be a back burner or a second choice. I hate comparing how me and her are doing, but it makes me feel better right now. I have my own place, a dog, happy kids, my own vehicle, money, in university, and even though I feel like complete garbage, I'm going through the emotions so I can fully move on and try to be at peace. Whereas she is living with her mom, broken car, no vehicle, asking me for money and living off C or B, COVID money, unhappy, depressed, thought the grass was greener and it isn't. She is so afraid to be alone with her own thoughts that she still sleeps with her mom or the kids sometimes. When I have moved on, she will not. I don't know if she will ever move on, because she knows she made a mistake and is stubborn. In the end, I just don't know why she cheated and left, but continues to text me, has slept with me, says how much I'm doing better than her. It boggles the mind, but then again, how can you understand someone who doesn't even understand themselves? I'm doing well, but some weeks I just feel so much hurt. Like she pulled my heart out, shattered it and banged the other guy on top of the shattered pieces. Anyways, that's the story. There's so much more I can say and background that I could give, but I think this does it. Thanks for listening. The only way to win your spouse back. For the record, I'm not back with her. But I did discover the only way to win your spouse back. It was a hard lesson, but worth the experience, and hopefully it can help somebody else out. Some backstory. We had a 16-month and 3-year-old kids, and my wife left me for a coworker. I was not a perfect husband, but I would like to think and have been told I was a great husband. I have a great job, worked normal hours, gave up my social life to be home with her and the kids after work and on weekends, remodeled our entire house as planned. She says I spent too much time on this, despite requesting and enjoying the upgrades, never strayed. Supported her during her, mostly unpaid, maternity leave by staying up late to do night feeding so she could sleep, taking our oldest to daycare out of the way so she could sleep in, handling all the finances because she didn't want to handle them, etc. Yet, when she went back to work at the beginning of the year, she turned mean toward me. I later found out she had started an emotional affair with a coworker that led to a kiss. During our therapy, she gaslit me and called me crazy when I assumed there was more and focused our time on her resentment towards me, some fair some unfair in my opinion. However, she continued her emotional affair with him. I was not crazy after all, and eventually fell in love and left me for him. I was devastated that I lost my best friend, wife, and travel partner, and that she didn't think our marriage, which had great moments during this year, one of our best dates ever, was less than a month before she said she didn't want to be married anymore, wasn't worth it anymore, despite our family we had built. I had to do whatever I could to keep my family, and somehow get back the wife I remembered. Because the current woman is not a person I recognize. Side note. I am pretty sure that untreated postpartum depression led to a lot of resentment and anxiety in her, combined with returning to a high-stress job. So I told her everything we were losing and asked her to really think if she wants to give that up. I told her everything I did to support her, which she couldn't even acknowledge. When I told her she used to be my best friend, she couldn't even respond. Of course, all the advice I read, and from talking to people who had been in her shoes before, said that approach never works and will just drive her farther away. They were right. It made her even more resentful that I wasn't hearing her. I told her she can be mad, but she married me because I would be a dedicated husband and family man, and that's exactly why I was pleading. And the old version of her would be cheering me on. All the advice actually said to go on living your life and show confidence, and that was the only possible way to win them back. At some point, I had to realize it was done. It was hard at first, but I was surprised how fast I became at peace with it. A few things helped. First, I focused on my own health and happiness that I could control. I worked out, ate healthy, did things that brought joy, reconnected with friends, etc. Second, I made sure that I put all the energy I could into my kids. I made sure we did things that were fun, that I showed them how much joy they brought me, and made sure they were physically and psychologically safe. This brought me even more peace and joy. Third, I started talking to old friends again and dating other people. This showed me that I wasn't worthless and that there were good people out there who could give me what she wasn't giving me. Kindness, joy, affection, and other things that don't match what you get from somebody you're in love with and married to, but still feel good and aren't hard when you're interested in getting to know somebody new. I also moved out into a place I love. Things turned for the better pretty quickly when I realized how little I was appreciated, and that maybe I wasn't losing this special gem I thought she was. That maybe she was causing unhappiness in my life. In fairness, 2 young kids cause a lot of stress and we had issues with them, so a lot of that stress was projected onto each of us. But I started feeling happy and realizing that maybe I was actually escaping a situation that wasn't great for me. I also read an essay called Welcome to Holland, that if you haven't read yet, I would pause this and go read it, link in the description. It takes less than 5 minutes. That put into perspective the fact that, while I didn't want or plan on this situation, I could spend my time being depressed about the situation I wasn't in, or smell the roses and see the benefits of my current situation. My communication with her became friendly instead of tense, thanks to my peacefulness. Texts were few and far between and terse. Not intentionally, but because I was adjusting to and enjoying my new life. One of the first weekends apart, I took the kids to my parents. I missed her. I missed our teamwork when we went away together. But the weekend went smooth and I had confidence in being able to take care of the kids myself. When I got back, she told me she missed all of us and our family. It was the first time she missed me in months. But she still refused to open up and I left the house and went back to normal life. The following weekend she wanted to do something as a family. I told her I will if she wants, but I didn't say this, I didn't need it and was good either way. She came over to my place, we hung out with the kids, went to the park, ate dinner, went swimming, and made cookies. Like the perfect American family, except for one major thing. She told me she missed the family and was thinking about things. 2 days later, it was our 8th anniversary. She sent a text early in the morning that she couldn't believe we were apart and that things changed so fast. She was sad and reflective. I didn't respond because I didn't know exactly what she meant and I didn't want to fall for any more mind games. I was moving on. That night, she was texting me playful texts, not flirty, and I responded, but she asked if she was talking to a robot. I told her I wanted to come by the next day since I was going to be in the neighborhood and see our dog and the kids. She asked me to stay for dinner. I knew something was up. I called her after some texts because I could tell she wanted to talk. We talked for 5 to 10 minutes, but again, she wouldn't fully open up. The next day we had therapy with our couples therapist to focus on separation and co-parenting. I knew what was coming. She said she was confused and missed me. But she was still confused about who she wanted to be with, me or him, and if she wanted to be married. She could now see all the support I gave her over the years and that I wasn't uninvolved and, as she put it before, her third child. She is worried that she broke the trust and it's irreparable, that I'm happier without her, that she might not be able to stay away from the new guy, that I actually don't miss her. We talked for the hour but didn't go too far into her feelings. I don't even know if she's 50-50 on getting back together, or 90% sure she still doesn't want to be married but has a couple small doubts. I'm not even sure I would want to get back together myself or how we would do that after all the damage. But, it's possible. It was impossible when I was begging before. I have no idea what she's going to choose or what I'm going to choose for that matter. But hopefully my story can help somebody else in a similar situation. It's hard to listen to that advice when somebody tells you that the best way to win your spouse back is to basically let them go be with somebody else while you're unhappy. But it really is the best way forward to happiness and possible reconciliation. Stop trying to control what you can and focus on yourself. If you both want it, it may resolve itself. If not, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And that light isn't a train. Blindsided by your husband or wife? Here's how to win them back. So many people come on here and post about how they were blindsided by a seemingly happy spouse who shows up one day with a laundry list of complaints about them personally, their marriage, the dog, whatever. No affairs or anything, just emotions. They're left wondering, how can I win back my wife? How can I show my husband he's making a mistake? The first instincts are to beg, bargain, cry, get angry, etc. Those do not work. In fact, they make things worse. How can you make the person see the error of their ways? Well, my friends, I was just like you. My wife shows up one day and says she wants a divorce. She had 1,000 reasons why, most of which hurt me deeply. I went through the period of anger and resentment, gathering evidence that she was wrong. You texted me that you loved me only 6 months ago, pleading with her sister to help me make things right. All this did was calcify her resolve. My wife was leaving me. Today the wife is begging me to stay, work things out. She says she'll change whatever is bothering me to fix things. How did I pull this off? What is my secret? Well, if you send me a low payment of $69.95 to my Venmo account, just kidding. I'll tell you. I realized that fighting her was worthless. The only thing I could do was move on and make myself happy. I took up some old hobbies. I picked up a few more hours at work. I reconnected with a college friend I haven't spoken to in years. I flirted with the girl at the DMV. I took charge of the separation process. Basically, I acted like this was all my idea and I was excited to move forward with being separated because I'd get to do all these things I wanted to do while we were married. But I meant it. Every one of them. Finding my own happiness made me realize the ways my wife was keeping me from them. My wife realized I was a desirable guy who would go on to have a very happy life without her, and it drove her crazy. So now she wants me to stay. She's the one asking me what she can do to be better. And to be honest guys, I'm not sure I want her anymore. I don't want the woman who gave up on me. I'm not sure I want the woman who wouldn't even admit she was bringing negative baggage to this marriage until I was willing to walk out. Ironic, huh? I'm not sure she's going to be able to fix the faults that made me happy to move on. Try it out. Fulfill yourself. Think of what you'd do if you were divorced and do that. I'd avoid things that would make reconciliation impossible. You might win your spouse back or you might realize you don't want to win your spouse back, but either way, you'll be happy.